In this lesson, we'll explore the handle tool and discuss viewport arrangement. So we're picking up directly where we left off in the last scene, and we've used the move, rotate, and scale tools here on the left-hand toolbar of the scene view. Now we want to discuss the handle tool. Now, the handle tool is basically a tool that gives you access in the viewport to specialized functionality of whatever tool it is you're using. Now, since we're here at the object level, the handle tool is going to give us access to extended functionality for the move, rotate, and scale tools. So I have the handle tool selected, and I'm going to come over and select the torus. Now, the first thing you'll notice is that the handle that we see is a combination of the rotate and move tools. So without having to switch between any of the tools here on the left, I'm automatically given access to two of them just right there interactively, and that's very handy. Now, the handle tool might have other hidden handles that you need to access. And a way that you can access them very, very quickly is to use the keyboard shortcut Y. So I'm just going to tap Y, and you'll see that I now have a different handle. That different handle gives me access to not just the scale functionality that we discussed, but also the move functionality. If I tap Y again, I'm taken directly into just a lockdown move tool. Y again gives me the simultaneous rotate and move tool, and Y again gives me the simultaneous move and scale tool. So the handle tool is a very quick way of getting around inside of the scene view. Instead of having to move your mouse all the way over to the toolbar, choose a tool, make an adjustment, choose another tool, and then make another adjustment, you can just use the handle tool and use the keyboard shortcut Y to quickly manipulate that object. So you can easily see that just making simple adjustments is a piece of cake when using that Y keyboard shortcut and the handle tool. Now, the handle tool will allow us to access all kinds of different options, and when we start modeling in a few lessons, we'll really see the power of the handle tool. Now, up until this point, we've primarily been using a perspective viewport to do our work in. And remember, you can always use the keyboard shortcut of spacebar to quickly access the view tool and tumble your view, move around, and pan around. Now, you might, however, sometimes want to view your objects in an isometric view. Now, an isometric view just means that you want to view them directly down one of the axes. So I might want to view just from the top down only. And you can set that camera very easily here inside of this little menu that's located in this little yellow box. Right now it says PERSP1, telling us that we're using a perspective view. If we click on that, hold down the mouse and come down to Set View, you'll see that we can easily pick from a multitude of viewports. Perspective is 1, so the keyboard shortcut for that is simply 1. If we want to see something directly from the top, we can either choose it in this menu here. I'll do that right now. That locks us down to where we're looking directly down on the object, straight from the top, almost like you're flying over in a helicopter. Now, if we want to jump back to our perspective view, again, we can make that change here by choosing Set View, or the keyboard shortcut for that is a combination of using the View tool and the number pad. So I can hit spacebar. That will automatically put me in the View tool temporarily. While the spacebar is held down, just tap the number 2. That'll take me, or number 1 will take me to perspective. Number 2 will take me to top. Number 3 will take me to the front. And 4 will take me to the right. Number 1 will take me back again into the perspective viewport. I can let go of my spacebar at this point and now begin to work with my geometry. Now, all of those keyboard shortcuts I was using, 1 for perspective, 2 for top, 3 for front, and 4 for right, are accessible in the same menu that we just got from here. We can just right-click, go to Set View, and choose any of them here. And again, you can see Houdini's interface very, very handily notes what the keyboard shortcut is right next to the menu choice. So I'm just going to change back to my perspective viewport. Now, just for reference sake, I'm going to go ahead and turn back on that construction plane that we saw when we first opened up Houdini. Again, I can turn that on using this right-hand toolbar, this top icon here. So there's my construction grid. Now, sometimes it might be really handy if you need to move an object to be able to see two different viewports at the same time. Right now, we've primarily been working with one viewport that's in any one of the cameras that we have available. You can, however, see multiple cameras at the same time, and that menu is accessible here in the top right-hand corner of the scene view. If we just click and hold on that, we'll see that we have all kinds of options for how our viewports are arranged. We've been working in this single view, or Control 1 is the keyboard shortcut. However, if you want to see multiple views, you have many different arrangement options here to choose from. I'm just going to choose 4 views to give you an example. Now, with 4 views chosen, I have the perspective view, a right view, a front view, and a top view all at the same time. Now, keep in mind, all of the zooming tools that we discussed earlier by typing spacebar and F will allow you to frame. I can hover over here in the right-hand menu. I know I have the torus selected, so I can spacebar and F. That will allow me to frame up that object. Spacebar and H will home the screen. I can home this screen here. All of those keyboard shortcuts still work. It just depends on wherever your mouse is hovering at the time that you execute that keyboard shortcut as to which viewport is updated. I'm going to change this back to where we're just looking through one single view, but feel free to use whichever of these is most useful for you or whichever one you feel most comfortable with. There's multiple ways to arrange the viewports. Some of them are better than others depending on the task that you're using. But for me, I'm just going to go back to the single view, and I'm going to view all of my objects here. Now, so far, we've been working at the object level, and we can tell that because here in our network view, we see this little screen that says, or this little indicator that says OBJ. But there's many different contexts or areas that you can work on objects within Houdini, and that's what we'll talk about in the next lesson.